when asked, 80% of people will say they want to write a book, but only 2% actually wind up publishing their book.
Welcome to Women Thrive podcast. This is where you'll get to hear incredible stories of female entrepreneurs, business owners, women from all walks of life. Myself, Raimonda Jan, and my co-host Abigail will be interviewing incredible women, hearing inspiring stories of women from all around the world. I have no doubt that you will find something that will be life-changing for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us for our future episodes.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Women Thrive podcast. My name is Abigail Rebecca. I'm one of your co-hosts, along with Raimonda Jan, who is the CEO and founder of Women Thrive. And you know, we always feel so fortunate and honored to have the most amazing speakers on our summit, on our podcast. You'll know that if you followed us for a while, you'll be aware that here at Women Thrive, you know, it's not just the speaking that we provide access for global female entrepreneurs. It's also publishing, authoring, writing. And have you ever thought that you wanted to write and publish a book? I would say that the majority of the people that I speak to, when I ask them about their aspirations and their desires, they say that they want to be an author. And, you know, it's not just about writing a book and, you know, the whole process of that is thinking about the bigger picture, you know, the opportunities that writing a book can bring, you positioning yourself as an authority in your field, and of course, all the wonderful opportunities that come from that. So that is what we're going to be speaking about today. If that is something that is on your wish list for 2025, then see this as your sign to start the ball rolling with it, because I am very, very excited to welcome a wonderful guest today who is also one of our speakers on the 2025 Women Thrive Summit. Her name is Karen Strauss. She is the founder of Hybrid Global Publishing. She's a master book publisher. So listen, you're in good hands today with this lady. She has got a lot of experience. She's held various positions in the publishing industry for over 35 years. If I say names to you like President Jimmy Carter, Jimmy Stewart, Martha Stewart, George F. Will, these are just some of the celebrities that she has worked with. And she founded her business predominantly to work with entrepreneurs, speakers, and coaches to help them write, publish, distribute, and promote their books in order to generate unlimited leads, get on more speaking stages, and grow their business by attracting more clients. Karen, welcome to our podcast today. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome you today.
Thank you, Abigail. It is an honor to be here. I'm really excited for this conversation.
I love it. And oh my goodness, I mean, what a bio. What a bio, my goodness, the names and the experiences that you've had. I can't wait to tap into your wisdom today.
Thank you.
So I'd love to know off the bat, Karen, obviously there's a little bit of history there and a little bit about your experience in your bio, but I'd really love to know in your words, what is it that makes you so passionate about the work that you do? And what was it that caused you to create this business and, you know, the work that you do today?
Well, we don't have time to start when I was 8 years old. However, my love of reading really started that young with my father. And he just instilled this love of reading. And my whole warm and snuggling memories, if you will, were us reading together. And so it just carried me throughout life. And I kind of entered publishing by accident, to be honest. So I actually wanted to be an actor and / singer. And then asked myself, could I be happy doing anything else? Because that is a hard life, to be on the stage. So I said, yes, I thought I could do that. And then actually just wound up at Macy's doing special events. And one of the special events that I got to do was all of book publishing. I brought books and authors to Macy's, and I was like a 23-year-old kid. It was like my dream job at the time. And then when it was kind of time, my experience was I knew all these book publishers. So I applied for jobs in publicity and promotion and wound up getting one and just loved every aspect of it. I loved reading. I loved meeting authors. I think they're one of the smartest people on earth. And it was just such a joy for me to, and I loved every aspect, whether it was from the writing and the whole production of it and putting them on a publicity tour, whatever it was, like how books got sold. Every aspect of it excited me. And I know that I'm one of the lucky ones, that I found an industry that so excited me at such an early age.
Wow, I love that, Karen. Hey, we've got something in common.
You love what you do too.
Well, of course I do, for sure. But I also wanted to be on stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wanted to sing and dance. The question I asked myself is, but can you really sing? And the answer was no.
Oh, see, I can really sing.
You can, that's amazing.
I can't really dance.
But hey, listen, our dreams have come true because we're on stage, right? It's just
We
in a
are
different
indeed.
way.
Yes.
So that's really cool. I really feel and see that you really love your work. It lights you up. It lights you up when you talk about it. And how amazing to do something that you love and also to tap into those beautiful memories of when you were little.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued, actually. What kind of books did you like to read when you were little?
Well, you're not going to believe this. So one of my favorite ones, it was a series. It was called Annie Katushka and the Poppy Seed Cakes. And my father used to, and every night, every time he'd say, Auntie Katushka, we would break into peals of laughter. And it was just a series, I don't even remember much, but I loved the old Nancy Drew books. I loved like those mysteries. Particularly interesting, and I didn't even realize it at the time, but the female protagonists, I just loved reading about women, girls who had major obstacles or was subject of bullying or something like that. Mostly was fiction. It just engulfed me. So in English, obviously in high school and in college, we read a lot of different kinds of books, but historical fiction has always been my favorite.
I love that you are just tapping into those happy memories. And I think so many of us can relate to that. If I think about my childhood as well, it was being read to and curling up with a book. And still now, if I want to feel really cozy and really nice, I'll kind of curl up in front of the fire. I light the fire and curl up with a book, dog on the knee, just feeling really lovely and safe and cozy. So amazing that you do what you do. So let's move on then. So let's fast track. So you've had this amazing career and you bring all of your experience into the work that you do now. What was it that caused you to be like, that's it, I want to start my own business, I want to forge my own path? What was it that inspired you to do that?
So it was very interesting. I was in corporate, Random House, Macmillan, Crown, and I know that I've always been in some way deep. I always knew that I wanted to start my own business. I'm a little too independent to be in the corporate world, to be honest. And so particularly in that time, as a woman coming up, we had our special challenges in those days. So I then just left, I just left and I knew how to sell books. And I just started to work with independent publishers, many of whom actually were Christian publishers. I'm this nice Jewish girl from New York City. And I started working with them because at the time they wanted to get their Christian books into the secular marketplace. And they really didn't know how to do that. And so they found me and then they would refer me, right? And they would say, if you want to sell books to Barnes & Noble and to Walden and Borders in the secular market, you need to call Karen Strauss. She's not a believer, but she sells books real good. She's this nice, good girl from New York, blah, blah. So, but the real thing, Abigail, is, so I did that for a while because it was an easy transition for me. But the spark for me, what happened was that I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2010. A year prior to that, Borders in Walden, our major chain, here, like Waterstones in the UK, went out of business. And I worked on commission, and that was 40% of my income.
Wow.
And then I get breast cancer. And then I go, okay, it made me think, why was I put on this earth? What is my purpose? What is it I really want to do? Because I knew that tomorrow is not guaranteed. So I wanted to have an impact on the world. If it wasn't going to be on the stage, where can I have an impact? And then it came to me that I want to help women in particular. I work with men and women, but women in particular amplify their voice and get their message out and their voices heard, because in so many avenues, we are stopped from doing that. Our voices are muted. And I wanted to be part of that movement, if you will, to help those people get their message out, get on speaking stages, get on radio shows and podcasts, and just sing to the world.
Yeah, such a good course. And obviously we know that we're also aligned, right? Because Women Thrive, women.
Absolutely.
That's part of my mission as well, to work with women. It's starting that movement where you're building your own stage and your own thought leadership and authority through the power of books and the medium of books. I was mentioned, a lot of women, in particular women that I speak to, when I ask them, like, what's in the future? Like, what's your big vision? What do you really love to do? If all obstacles are removed, what would you really love to do? And so many people say, write a book. I want to write a book. But then how many people actually go ahead and do that? Where do you think the disconnection is? Where do you think that block is around the real
law? Yeah, that's a great question, because there is this statistic out there that when asked, 80% of people will say they want to write a book.
Wow.
Yes, but only 2% actually wind up publishing their book. So that is an extraordinary disconnect.
Crazy.
Yes.
2%. Wow.
2%. And now it's so much easier with self-publishing and hybrid publishing to get your book out there if you really wanted to. However, it's not for the faint of heart, if you will, right? So you have to have, one of the disconnects is you really have to have a strong purpose for writing that book. And that could be leaving a legacy for your family and your grandchildren and your children, getting to know the real you, who you are. And that's a beautiful thing, writing a memoir or using a book for your business, and to have that impact on people so that you can be seen as the authority in your industry. But many people, they get lost. They think that writing is such an august and mysterious thing that they kind of freeze. So they have these limiting beliefs. They think that, well, I can talk, that's fine. I can have a conversation, but if I write, I need to write in a different language. I need to write in a more formal way. And that's not true, because the real key is your authenticity. We encourage our authors to write books in their voice. And you can use slang, you can use your language. Certainly, we're going to help you edit it to make you sound, to sound really good. But what people want is the real you. They want to know who the real you is, and warts and all. They want to know your story. They also want to know how your story can solve their problem. But we teach people how to do that. So I don't believe that most people, unless you're really, really motivated, can get through the whole process of writing a book without help. Yeah.
I mean, I've never attempted it, but I would imagine that to do something like that on your own is going to be difficult.
It can be very overwhelming because you don't know where to start. We know that a lot of people, they might have 10 ideas and they don't know which idea to go with. So having that purpose and that reason for writing a book definitely helps with clarity. The clarity of what it is you're going to be writing about. Why do you want to write it? What is your expectation? What do you want out of it? And then what is the benefit to the reader? There are all these questions you need to ask yourself before I think you should attempt to write this book. And a lot of people, we find the people that we work with, coaches and entrepreneurs, there's that imposter syndrome, particularly for women, that who's going to want to read what I have to say, what I have to write? I don't really consider myself an expert. And so they're afraid to put their book out into the world because then that opens them up to criticism from the world. And if it's much safer to stay in your own cocoon and your own little world than it is to play a bigger game and put yourself out there.
Because we can always find excuses, can't we, for not going ahead and doing things. And then if we don't put ourselves out there, we're not failing in a certain sense, right? If I don't play the game, I'm not playing. I'm just watching the game. I'm not actually on the court playing.
Right.
You were talking about it's important to have a purpose, that there's a reason why you're writing that book. And I would think as well also what you want to leverage at the end. I know that you sort of help women write books so that they can speak on stages and they can leverage their status and raise their authority and raise their profile. So I guess also really being crystal clear, like what is the purpose? Like what do you want to get out of it at the end of it? Because it's not just about being a bestseller, is it? It's about how do I want to use this book? Do I want to create courses out of it? Do I want to use it as a lead magnet? Do I want to land speaking gigs at the end of it? Like, what would you say most of your clients are kind of wanting to create off the back end?
Well, for one thing, they don't want to be the best kept secret in their industry anymore. And so we know that a book will help you do that. And a book is amazing jump off spot for, as you said, creating courses, creating a consulting business, an audiobook, an ebook, and a mastermind. Like we have lots of people who take 10 chapters of their book, right? And that's a month worth of training and teaching. And then they develop a group program. Or some people come to us, they already have a group program. And then that's easy to take what they're teaching and put that in book form. So a book is very complementary to your signature speech, your coursework, a membership site, your consulting business. We talk a lot about sponsorships. So I'm a sponsor and a speaker here because it is aligned, as you had mentioned. My mission and purpose is so aligned with what Thrive Media is doing, the Thrive Summit is doing. So that was perfect for me to step into this spotlight. There's also something else called corporate sponsorships. So for instance, Dove has a corporate message that we're all women of diversity, of different skin color, different ages, different world views. But Dove unites everything, right? And so if you've got a mission, if your message, even if it's a meditation book or a self-help personal development book, and it's in alignment with their message, they might be interested in talking to you about being a brand ambassador. They might be interested in also talking to you about coming into their employees and maybe doing some team leadership and development, with their people. American Express hires people all the time, and they love book authors to come in and teach them about finances and business and sales. So, because they have a corporate team. So it's really unlimited in terms of the genre, the subject that you're talking about, that you can go out into the world, find corporate sponsors. I'd say find sponsors locally first, but corporate sponsorship in the last year or two, they have spent $60 billion on outsiders coming in, on special speakers and special sales. because they want to either educate and enlighten their own staff, or they want to engage customers and have them become more loyal customers. So they might actually buy the rights to 30,000 ebooks that they will distribute to their loyal customers. So there's just so many ideas that get you out there and become more visible. It really is limited by your own imagination.
I love that, Karen. What a great idea, and how amazing to share that, because I think sometimes you can be so focused on, I just want to write a book. I just want to write it. And then it's like, how can you leverage it? I don't know if you're aware of this, but I have a corporate background, and I used to head up a very large training and development department. And I used to hold the budget for the leadership training within the business. And just as you say, I used to use some of that budget to bring people in to do training, corporate training, leadership training, to come and speak, motivate. A lot of those had written books, so they were authors. And I, in turn, have gone in and done internal and external training in banks, UK-based worldwide banks, but, in the city. And there's so many opportunities, isn't there? And this is what I love about, having a resource like a book. It gives you that instant credibility. It really is a wonderful tool and resource to be able to leverage, because at the end of the day, people want authors to speak on their stages.
They do. And that's the thing, is when you've written a book, you're much more likely, one, to get that gig, because then they don't have to Google you and find out. I mean, they will, but they don't have to find out all this information about you, where if you've written a book, it's in print. And so that is a leverage tool that puts you a step ahead of everybody else who's applying for the same speaking gig. And there's another great stat that when you've written a book or a couple of books and you're going to be a paid speaker, they're going to pay you a lot more, like 50% more, than if you come and speak. They pay you, but you don't have any credentials and you don't have a book behind you. So for leverage and for income, having a book, I'm biased, obviously, but I have seen the magic happen to so many of my clients.
And obviously the stats to back it up as well, and the experience to back it up as well.
Yes.
Karen, I just wanted to find out from you, from a personal point of view and a business point of view. You're a lady who's up to big things. I know you are. Like, what's next? What's next for you in your business? Like, what are your next steps, your big plans? What are you stepping into this year?
I am very excited. So I'm going to be speaking a lot. I'm stepping up my speaking this year. But the main new thing for me is I'm creating a program, and it's called Write, WRITE, Write to Rise, Inner Circle. So it's going to be a 6-month program. We're going to do 3 months, and we're going to work on a collaboration book, which we haven't talked about, but it's a multi-author book. And I'm very excited about that. That will be called the Write, RIGHT, Write to Rise. And so we're going to work on it together. There'll be a lot of training involved and so on and so forth, and helping people monetize their book. But then the next 3 months, and we'll do a retreat, and the next 3 months will be focused on your own book. So, but you've got all of these, me and my team, and then our experts that we're bringing in as well. So you're going to be enveloped in a cocoon, if you will, to have all the support to actually finally get your book done and out into the world. So I'm really excited about starting this up.
That's fantastic, Karen. Congratulations. When's it launching?
Our first meeting will be in May, so have a couple of months, but I'll be doing some webinars for free to talk about this and other things, and, and speaking at other places and so on and so forth. In May is when we're going to start the program.
That is fantastic. What an exciting year it's going to be for you and your team and your clients. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm thrilled. Thank you, Abigail.
And of course, you're going to be speaking on our stage on the Women Thrive Summit. As we're recording this, it's only a couple of months away, so it's going to be March 2025. What can you tell us a little bit about your talk? Like, what are you going to be sharing with us?
It's called Writing a Book That Shares Your Story to Land You Yeses. So I think we gave a little bit of a preview of kind of what I'll be talking about, but basically discovering your big idea, getting through the limiting beliefs, what stops you, and then finally, all the different ways that you can monetize your book, gain more visibility, build community, and increase your revenue for the next year. So I'm excited about that talk.
We're excited as well. It's very, very valuable. And I know you're going to have lots of people flocking. Whenever we have a speaker that speaks about writing a book, it's, lots of people are interested. So we are very excited about that, and to see the audience that's going to be attracted in by your talk. Karen, thank you so much. Thank you. We always appreciate your time and sharing your wonderful energy as well as your expertise and your knowledge. And thank you so much for being an inspiration on our stage.
Thank you, Abigail. It was an honor and a pleasure to be here.
Karen, I'd really love to know if anyone, I'm sure there'll be lots of people that will want to follow you, that will want to learn out more about you. Where are the best places to go? Where do you hang out online?
They can go to my website, hybridglobalpublishing.com. I'm on LinkedIn, so they can just look up Karen Strauss on LinkedIn, and then Facebook, for those of us who still use Facebook. But you can find, it's all under Karen Strauss. And so, because I can share more personal things in that way too. We do have a Hybrid Global Publishing, like, private Facebook group if you join us. Those three places are the best.
Fantastic. We're going to put all the links below.
Yes.
So that people can find you easily. Karen, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you, Abigail. See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for watching, for listening. Be sure to go and follow Karen, find out about all the exciting things that she is up to this year, including speaking on our stage. We would love to have you come join us on the Women Thrive Summit. Tickets are available, and you can come and join us and learn from all our wonderful experts. If you have any questions at all about writing a book, contact Karen. She's your woman. She's going to put you in the right place and is just going to be a fountain of knowledge and inspiration for you. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, and we will see you on the next episode of the Women Thrive podcast. Have an amazing day. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Women Thrive podcast. If you found today's episode empowering and inspiring, be sure to subscribe and follow us. Better yet, leave a review and share it with others. We're committed to bringing you more stories that will empower and inspire you on your own journey. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep pursuing your dreams.